During the creative process, architects occupy two distinct worlds. In the digital world, we're immersed in the screens of our computers, laptops, tablets, and phones. And these technologies allow us to quickly develop concepts, iterate ideas, and document designs. In the physical world, we interact with drawings, models, and materials by using our senses. In this world, we communicate by hand sketching, we test ideas by making study models, and we choose materials using our hands and eyes to measure their qualities. So, I think it's worth asking ourselves as architects how we split our time between these two worlds of the design process. I think it's fair to say that we often spend a bit more time in the digital world during the design process. Our digital tools are extremely powerful and necessary, but sometimes the physical world which buildings actually occupy seems somewhat lost to us. And spending all this time in front of screens can leave us feeling a bit disconnected from what we're actually making, the buildings and spaces that we experience with our bodies. So, what can we do about this? I think we can overcome this feeling of disconnection by leaving the digital world from time to time. And leaving the digital world where we spend most of our time might feel a little bit uncomfortable. We might be asking ourselves what we're going to be doing in the physical world and how do we start making things. Large-scale models are a great way to get a better understanding of the atmosphere of a space or a structure. And the process of making these models starts by gathering the right tools. So, in the physical world, there are no screens, keyboards, or mice. Instead, there are cutting mats, pencils, rulers, and blades. We can call these tangible tools. And we can hold these tools with our hands and feel their weight with our fingers. Pencils mark, rulers measure, and blades cut. And the efficient use of each tool requires the application of a specific technique. And these methods of using tools involve our bodies. So using the tools is physical. And the materials we use to make with are also physical. We can pick them up with our hands and observe their unique qualities. And when we look at them closely, we can notice their textures and appreciate their distinct colors. When we cut wood in the physical world, we can see the resultant residue left behind. The cut ends are all a bit different, and we can embrace these imperfections. I suppose these are what people refer to as maker's marks. And once materials are fixed to each other, we can get a sense of their stability. We can feel their structural qualities with our fingers. Yeah, and I think this is what we can learn from physical model making. The physical experience of making something with real materials heightens our understanding of what we've made. This experience is fairly different from building something while sitting in front of a computer screen. And I think having this awareness is a really powerful insight which can inform how we actually design. And the making process is made up of small incremental steps. And each of these steps are opportunities for thought and consideration. Individual parts are joined together, but we can ask ourselves, could they be combined in a different way? The process of making opens up the door for our curiosity, and so making is thinking. A miniature assembly line can be created where each building component is built, and I think our sense of the quantity of components becomes stronger. And slowly but surely, little fragments begin to emerge. We can imagine different scenarios, but we choose one that seems to make the most sense. And suddenly the model starts to come to life. And at a certain point, what we've made becomes greater than the sum of its parts. And we can just kind of stand back and look at it. It's there in front of us, not on a screen. And so big Models like this have a kind of undeniable physical presence, which allows us to feel more connected to what we've actually made. And when we make big models like this, we can gain a new confidence as we've built an actual version, a scaled one, of our design. And we've been able to see it in a new way that wasn't really possible when we built it using our digital tools. So, what have we actually learned from entering into the physical world of design? What's the takeaway here? I think the first thing to realize is that both the digital and physical worlds have their place in the creative process. As architects, we can choose when it's appropriate to enter into these worlds. And I think the magic happens when the two worlds can be connected. And then we can use both the digital and physical tools together to enhance our design process. And many architects do this all the time. And this combining of the digital and physical is a core aspect of their design methodology. So, I think it's useful to remind ourselves from time to time of the physical world, as it's this one that can be forgotten first. And I think the essential skill of the architect is to know when to enter into each world and to be able to pivot between them at the right time. So, I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, you might want to subscribe to this channel where I'll be making more videos like this one. See you in the next video.